Well, hi guys, Coach Jerry here at The Protocol, and welcome to the Joint Mobility Warm-Up for the month of April. Today's warm-up was mostly inspired by a book that I recently finished reading. It's called Built to Move by Dr. Kelly Starrett. I'll put a link in that book down in the description, but it's a pretty interesting read. He talks about the 10 vital signs, and this is another one of those books about longevity that you've heard me preaching about several of recently. But it's these 10 vital signs are basically 10 things that you want to be able to stick to and do for many, many years. Some of them are movement related, others are not. So for this joint mobility warm-up, we're going to be focused on the ones that are movement related. And we're also going to be focused on one of them, which is breath work, which is how we're going to actually begin today. So breath work is something that we're going to be adding to our warm-ups moving forward. And I figure we'll start with the one that we're working on from the book, which is called the CO2 tolerance test. Now, in order to do this, you just need to be either comfortably seated. You can also do it lying on your back. Whichever position you choose, you want the position to be something where you can breathe and sit very comfortably. So if you're not comfortable sitting in the position like I am, maybe you want to just lay down on your back, but the focus is on the breath work. So these are deep belly breaths. Nasal breathing only, so we're not going to be breathing in or out through our mouth. And the way the CO2 tolerance test works is you're going to take 3 deep, normal breaths. On the 4th breath, you're going to pull that air in, and you're going to let it out. You're going to let the exhalation out very slowly. So you may be partially constricted in the back of your throat. It's really hard to demonstrate this in a video, but I'll do my best. The instructors are going to be, all of our devices are loaded up with this handy metronome that we have here, and the metronome will be set at 60 beats a minute. The reason we're using the metronome instead of the clock is no two people really breathe the same. So you'll hear this sound, you'll get comfortable, and you'll take 3 normal breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. So just nice deep breaths. When you take the inhale of the 4th breath, that's the one where you want to let that air out very slowly, and you'll use the sound of this metronome to count. So I'll pull that breath in, and then as soon as I start letting that breath out, it'll just be 1, 2, 3, 4, and obviously you're counting this in your head because you'll be exhaling through the nose. Now, a couple of caveats to the CO2 tolerance test. You can Google what's a good score or whatnot, but really, I'm going to shut that off so I don't have to talk over it. You can calculate like what's a good score or how long should I be able to go. It's not a competition. All you're trying to do is build up your body's ability to tolerate CO2, as the test suggests. And maybe when you start doing this, you're not going to be particularly great at it, and you'll work up to being able to go longer and longer. But what's important is that you work in your own capacity. And also it's important not to really make yourself miserable and don't go until you're gonna pass out. Once you've expelled that air and you really can't tolerate any more of that exhale, if you catch yourself trying to swallow or whatnot, that's a good spot to call it quits. So really hard to demonstrate in a video. It's really one of those things where the more you practice it, the more natural it's going to feel, and hopefully the better you'll get at it as we practice these through the month. So the first thing we're going to start out with in each class is going to be the CO2 tolerance test. The second thing that we have on there is what's called the sit and rise. Now, the sit and rise in the book refers to the sit and rise challenge, which is from the position that you see me sitting in, you want to be able to stand up as efficiently as possible. As efficiently, in their definition, is I don't want to put any hands on the ground, knees on the ground. The way the sit and rise is supposed to look is like this. So I just come up to sitting, don't have to put a knee down, don't have to put a hand down, and to come back down, it's the same. You just cross your legs and gradually take yourself down in a nice, controlled manner. Now, if you're very good at it, I would recommend practicing it both ways. We're going to be doing 5 of these in the workout. So what I mean by both ways is when I come up, like if I'm good with this position, maybe I do a couple where I cross my legs the other way and make sure that I can do the sit and rise test in both ways. Now, you might be looking at that and thinking, That's awesome for you, Jerry, but I can't do that. That's fine. Just how you saw me put my hand down to come down, that's okay. Basically, you're just trying to get down and up from the seated position using as little assistance from your legs and your hands as possible. So we'll do 5 of those in the warm-up and just practice. Maybe one time you'll go on one hand, maybe one time you'll go on the other side. Think very similar to the fall matrix. Maybe I'll do one where I put my right knee on the ground and come up. Maybe I'll do one on the next one, I'll put my left knee down, so on and so forth. So this is designed to be tweakable to suit your capability. The next thing that is on the warm-up is the SOLEC, which is standing on one leg, eyes closed. Standing on one leg, eyes closed, is just exactly what it sounds like it is. We're going to balance for 20 seconds on each side, and we're going to do 2 per side. Now, if you've never done this, don't worry about it. Just, you may want to start without the eyes closed part. That might make it a little too challenging. You also may want to use one of these boxes over here, just in case you lose your balance. So let's just we'll do one here, where we'll just plant on one foot, stick the other foot out, and we'll start with our eyes open and just get used to balancing on one leg. One of the first things that you'll notice when you do this is that that foot on the ground is going to be fighting for stability. Once you get your 20 seconds, do it on the other side. Notice I stepped behind the mat to do this. This is a little bit easier to do on a harder surface, so if you're working on like carpet or the Perform Better mat or the turf, I find it a little bit easier to be on a nice solid surface with the floor. Now, once you have 20 seconds on each side under control, now you can try the EC part, which is to do it again with your eyes closed. So you close your eyes, stick your foot out, and try to balance. Now, I'll try to be a good sport here. I'm showing you my worst side, and you just notice here with your eyes closed, it is much more difficult to do. But the simple act of practicing it will make you better at it. I mean, this is also something that you can do while you're brushing your teeth. This is not necessarily something that's exclusive to a particular warm-up. I mean, anytime you have some time and some ability to practice the balance, this is certainly one of the things that you want to be able to maintain for many, many years. The next warm-up is called the Grok hang. This is something we've done in here before. You're just going to find a pull-up bar. We do have these shorter pull-up bars in case you need to keep a couple of toes on the ground. But what we're going to do here is take a double overhand grip, come down, and just hang. If you don't have good shoulders, you may need to hold a very active hang. And what I mean by active is my shoulders are far away from my ears. A passive hang, my shoulders are going to get closer to my ears. And this will just give you some traction, and this will feel really good on the shoulders. But if you have shoulder pain doing this type of traction, I don't recommend doing it this way. But whatever your shoulders can tolerate. I've got a wide range on there. I have 10 to 60 seconds. For some of you, 10 seconds might be challenging. For some of you, 60 seconds will be very doable. But whatever it is, this is one of those shoulder activities that I do almost daily that keeps my shoulders nice and healthy. We're going to be doing one additional shoulder T-spine drill, and for that, we're going to need one of these dowel rods. This is called, in the book, it's called PVC mobility. We prefer to use the wooden dowel rods in here, so we don't have PVC pipes. If you're doing it at home and you don't have a PVC pipe, you can take one of your brooms. Most brooms, you can just unscrew the broom part, and then you're left with the dowel from the broom. That works really well. But you're going to come in face down, and you're going to hold your dowel rod in the crooks of your fingers. From a face down position, I'm going to try to mobilize and bring the dowel rod up as high as I can. I think what I have written on here, I think for the PVC mobility, I think about 10 reps is going to be good. But if this causes a lot of discomfort, you can do less. But basically, it looks like this. And that just works that end range of shoulder mobility, also good for your T-spine. The last one that we're going to be doing here is a variation of the squat. Now, in Dr. Starrett's book, he's got some squat variations that are in there. We're going to work on an old favorite that we do here. It's called the prying goblet squat. For the prying goblet squat, we're just going to take a moderately sized kettlebell. We're going to pick it up in the goblet position. We're going to settle into a nice deep squat. And we're just going to do some mobilizations here. So the one that I like the most, I think, is ankle mobility, which is something that most of us do struggle with. I'm just going to push my knee right out over my two middle toes on one side, come back to center, push my knees over my toes on the other side, and just pry back and forth a little bit. The other thing that you can do is using your elbows, push your legs out and just come back in. And you'll feel that in your adductor. It's a really nice stretch. You can also pull the bell forward, straighten your back, and pull the bell back. And when it's time to stand up, just make sure to get your belly breath and your tension before you come up. Repressurize the cabin. And we come back down. We're going to be doing a set of 5 of these prying squats. Now, we are only doing 1 round of this warm-up. So I would recommend spending a little bit of time here on each of the 5 reps. And of course, every time you get up, don't forget to repressurize. From the side view, it looks like this. Notice my back, hopefully I can't see my own back, is nice and straight. And that is the prying goblet squat. So guys, that is the warm-up for the month of April. Kind of some simple but not easy things to be working on. Some of these are kind of off the beaten path from what we've done in the past. So looking forward to practicing some of these things myself and getting better at them. But that's what we got for April, and we'll see you guys soon.